Right guys, Gaz here today again. Thought we'd talk about devolution today, of devolution of Wales. Before I start all this, I'd just like to thank everybody for subscribing again, and thanks for commenting as well, because I like going through the comments and seeing what people have got to say. I've gone through every one so far. Really interesting to see what people's ideas are on these things. So great to see you all commenting, and subscribe if you haven't already. So regarding devolution, if you don't know about this, or because a lot of you are from America or Canada or wherever, or Norway, in Wales, we're not a very big country. There's only about 3 million people in Wales, and about 25 years ago we had this thing where you had to vote on devolution, which is having a Welsh parliament, and it all sounded quite nice. So sort of separated from the Westminster Parliament. And before then we were all intertwined really, and then when you had a general election before that, whoever was say the Conservatives or Labour were in power in Westminster, they sent a minister to Wales, and they ran Wales as well. So you would have Conservative or Labour in charge every so often, so they would change. Anyway, when they had this vote, it was done quite quietly. I remember it all happening. I was in my 20s. It wasn't a big thing. And it sort of went under the radar. And Neil Kinnock had this idea of, when Labour are out of power in the Westminster Parliament, they would always be in power in the Welsh Parliament. And lots of people, my dad was a big Plaid Cymru voter, and he voted for it because to have a bit more power for the Welsh people, and I'm a real proud Welshman. I can't remember actually when I voted for on that, because I was young. I was only just starting voting then, but I don't even remember, to be quite honest with you. But I've always been a person who likes the UK together, so as one, if you see what I mean. Like if you have a war or something, you have three: Scotland, Ireland, England, Wales, and that's how I've always been, really, even though I am a proud Welshman. And I love beating them in rugby. But anyway, when they had this vote, I am pretty sure, but don't quote me on this, the vote was won by 2,000 people. And there's only 3 million people in Wales. So at the start, we had a couple of leaders, and like I said, there was one bloke for Welsh Labour called Rodri Morgan, and he was very, very good. He ran it for all the people of Wales, not just one section of Wales. But 25 years on, we've got a tyrant in charge now, because these people have realised that they can't get voted out. There's a certain system in Wales, and basically, because there's such a low amount of people, 3 million, most of the voting happens in the cities and built up areas, and they are pushing money to Cardiff and areas like that, so that Labour can get their MPs there. That's how it's happening. We all know it now, and we never get a change. So these people, really, we're a bit of an experiment. The civil service is run in Wales, really, because Mark Drakeford was a top head of the civil service, and before that a bit of a lecturer. So that's what's happening in Wales, and nobody can ever vote them down, because they're more than anybody in the Senate to vote against them. Now, I'd love for this to change, obviously, now, but this is a warning for people. These tyrants can really creep up on you. Now, Drakeford, he's a little guy, unassuming guy, but people underestimate him. That's how all tyrants start. They're like maybe been bullied in school or whatever, and pretty meek, and then they suddenly get power, and then they use it against people they don't like. That's what a tyrant is, in my opinion. And that's the position we're in Wales now. So devolution, in my opinion, has been really bad for Wales. Now we have £18 billion a year, roughly, off England to pay for things and help pay for things in Wales and a settlement. Scotland have a similar sort of thing. So out of that 18 billion, this Welsh Labour government this year now has decided to spend 4.8 billion on a climate budget and take the rest off every other budget. Agri is only 300 million it only costs. The whole of agriculture in Wales costs 300 million, and they're cutting that back. And lots of other things, and if you look at my past videos, I talk about it. But so this budget has been created, and then they're taking stuff off NHS, off everything, to pay for this invented budget. Now, like I tell you, nobody can do a bloody thing about it, because these people have got the reins and nobody can remove them. Now, Mark Drakeford is going, but he's only decided to go himself. Nobody has chucked him out. So that's Gaza's thought of today. It shows how easily a small little country of mine can become a dictatorship. And it just happens slowly, slowly, slowly. And now they're even bringing in some new rules. They're trying to add 50 MPs. So this is going to help them again now, because from what I understand, they can pick any MP to go in any area. So if you vote during a general election, the Welsh parties in charge can pick who they want to go in what area. So you won't have your elected MP anymore. It's a very, very odd. They're just rigging the system again, really. But I have to say, I preferred it. Even when you had a bad leader in Westminster, they got changed every few years, every 4 years or 5 years it is. So I preferred it like that myself. But 25 years of having people who... Basically, the same people who've been in the Senedd have been there for 25 years. They haven't changed a lot. It's like one big quango, and they made a lot of money from it. So that's Gaza's thought today. And please comment, rate and subscribe, because it's really, really, really is nice to have a lot of engagement with people, really, because I think they think the same. Ta-da!